Welcome to another Blue Ridge Heating and Air Seminar, the refrigerant change of 2025.
All right, so let's talk about the refrigerant change in 2025. Quentin L. Cook says, if we are prepared, we shall not fear. So what is R454B, also known as Puron Advanced or Solstice? R454B will be commonly used in the heating and air conditioning system starting in 2025. It was chosen because it is much better for the environment compared to the older refrigerants, having a lower potential to warm the planet. This change helps the industry to meet the new environmental rules aimed at reducing harmful emissions. So when most people think of refrigerant today, they'll call it Freon. That Freon, R22, started getting phased out in 2010, and the most common refrigerant that we're using since, even today, is the R410A. Fun fact that Bailey got for us, another refrigerant, R32, will also be used, but isn't as environmentally friendly as the R454B. The 32 will be found in some brands like Daikin and Goodman. So why is 410A being phased out and 454B being mandated to use in the systems? Well, the EPA supports the transition as part of a broader effort to reduce pollution and create a healthier environment for the future generations. R454B is recognized globally for its lower carbon emissions. It aligns with the scientific consensus and the goals of the Montreal Protocol. The 454B will be commonly used in the system starting in 2025. They've chosen this because it's much better for the environment. It has a lower potential to warm the planet. Global warming potential. Yeah. When most people think of refrigerant, we'll still say, hey, can y'all come put Freon in our system? Right. Well, Freon was R22. It's got phased out in 2010.
So you really put it in the...
No, it's 410A is what we've been using for many years, but still people call it Freon. That's their... Okay. That's the name.
I would have thought of that too.
Just like down south, it's not a soda, it's a Coke. So another fun fact that we were just speaking with is R32 will also be used, but it's not as environmentally friendly. It doesn't have the same global warming potential as the 454B, and it's used in some systems like Daikin and Goodman. So why is 410A being phased out? So the EPA supports the transition to 454B as part of a broader effort to reduce pollution and create a healthier environment for future generations. 454B is globally known for its lower carbon emissions, aligning with the scientific consensus and the goals of the Montreal Protocol to combat climate change.
So is it that much of a difference?
Yes.
Is it really?
It is.
Difference in those? Surprising.
410A is a global warming potential of 2088, and here's 466, I believe. Yeah, 466.
Huge difference. I didn't know about a difference.
Mm-hmm. And then the 32 is around 670, 677. Yeah, and the goal was below 700.
Mm-hmm. But they'll have to continue to service these systems out there for 25 to 8 years with that same 410, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They'll stop manufacturing in 36, but it'll still be available. Gotcha. Like R22 is still available, but the price has really gotten so high.
Over time, it'll continue, the prices will rise. So it'll be that makes sense. That's
kind of forced obsolescence.
Yeah, typically it will. Yes, you are. Yeah.
All right, so fun fact, 410A is the most common refrigerant over the past decade, but R454 has been in use for over the past several years in other countries. So what questions do we have so far? Anybody have any questions?
Carbon emissions isn't one of the number one things, the reason why they move them.
Yes.
Are there any efficiencies?
There will be the refrigerants will respond very similar.
Okay.
But as technology evolves, the efficiencies are getting much more efficient.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
How much more? Because it's not a small investment, right? So is the efficiency going to improve by 25%?
I don't think it'll be that high. Probably 5, 10. But it all depends on the equipment you buy, because you can buy stuff that's 22 SEER equipment, which is much higher SEER rating and much more efficient than the equipment, say, that 14 is the minimum we can sell, a 14 SEER system. So it all depends what you're looking to invest and what you're looking to get out of it. So.
Okay.
And what brands does Blue Ridge use?
We're American Standard or American. I just want to play Mitsubishi. We do a lot of Mitsubishi.
They're all made by the same company anyway, right?
So we sell Armstrong, Mitsubishi, and Trane. So
And York.
No one has heard of Armstrong, but they're American made.
and they've been around for quite a few years.
They're made in Orangeburg, South Carolina. If you've heard of Lennox, Armstrong is in the same umbrella.
Does Lennox own Armstrong?
They do. So why are people worried about the flammability?
Yeah.
Many people are worried about the flammability of the new refrigerant. Every new HVAC system will have several precautions. For example, they'll have a leak sensor on every unit to detect refrigerant as a safety precaution. When your system recognizes a leak, the computer stops the compressor stops pumping and the fan turns on. As it relates to flammability, you would need a temperature or a flame of 925 degrees Fahrenheit to make the new refrigerant ignite. R454B is an A2L, which is mildly flammable as well. R454B and 410A respond very similarly in the system, so don't worry about your system blowing up. R454B has been in use in other parts of the world in places like Europe and in Asia. Any questions?
454 is the new one.
Yes,
454B is the new one.
And
410A is what's in there today.
Okay, so 54 has
Bigger
been,
number, new.
That sounds right.
so the 54 has been in place in other geographies for a while now.
Right. In Europe and in Asia, where all the technology pretty much gets its start.
Well, they're very energy efficient in those areas.
Right. So should I wait to buy a new system or am I safe to purchase one now? Well, it's completely up to you. It's safe now and will be safe later. The new models coming in 2025 will be accommodating the refrigerant change, and they'll cost about 10 to 15% more. 410A will ramp down its production starting now and ending in 2036. So systems that use the refrigerant that we're using now, the 410A, we'll still be able to service and repair those through 2036 and probably even beyond.
So they're still building them until 2036?
They'll still be able to manufacture the refrigerant.
But the units.
The units
So
of-
if you were to purchase new units today, would you be buying a 410A, or that's no longer possible?
Until the end of this year, anything manufactured in 24 will still be able to be sold in 25. But after 24, no more manufacturing of R410 equipment.
So in 25, they could still be selling 410.
Yes, ma'am.
It's in their inventory.
Yes, ma'am.
Almost seems a little unethical, but okay.
Some companies are stockpiling on them because they're going to be a little more inexpensive. So they're
But at the same time, you're going to need those equipments for warranty purposes as well. So,
Well, that's parts. That's not a whole unit. So.
but it would be a unit that you can sell or that matches up. Let's go back to if I wanted to sell a system that was we installed for you 3 years ago, but because the changes in the equipment, I can no longer sell it. I'd have to sell you a whole new system to match up. But if I have pieces of equipment that I can use, not a whole system, but I can sell individual.
Sure.
So that's what they're going for.
I understand.
Okay.
So Blue Ridge vans, our service vans, will begin carrying all three refrigerants from now on. 410A, R454B, and R32 will be in our trucks. Other companies will follow the same path, and the prices will go up because you're having to buy all the refrigerants and equipment for all of them. So to answer the question, should you wait or should you buy? Now is fine. The benefits are that the equipment's tried and true. We know that it works. They've been in production for many years. The reality with all the new equipment is that new equipment that can house all the new refrigerants, minor adjustments will have to be made from here, from time to time to handle the refrigerants. But buying a new heat pump this fall, that unit's going to be good for many years to come. So, any questions? All right. We can just ask them as we go. There's places for it, but we'll just do them as we want. So, in conclusion, at Blue Ridge Heating and Air, we prioritize your comfort and peace of mind during industry changes, like the shift to the eco-friendly R454B refrigerant. While this change is industry-wide, our focus is to ensure a seamless transition for you. As our valued customer, you contribute to a healthier environment and enjoy a hassle-free service. Just call Blue Ridge Heating and Air and we'll handle everything maintaining your peace of mind.
So I knew there was 18 SEER, but I didn't know there was 22 SEER. How long has that been around? A long time?
They have been out, yes. But the prices, you go up in SEER rating, the cost goes up. So,
Marginally or drastically?
I would say on the end of almost drastically. Now, it all depends what you want and what are you willing to invest for energy savings. And I think of it as recouping your money.
It depends, I guess, because my house, when I get my little Duke Energy thing, I'm like cheaper than anybody else in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
but I also keep my house some on one, so because it's winter.
That's right, yeah. That helps a lot.
Right. Well, I keep it like 68 during the day and 65 at night.
Oh, that's pretty good, yeah.
So you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So, and some people are,
They want it like 78.
yeah, they want to
They're
cook.
sick all the time because you can't go in and out like that. And anyway,
That's hot.
Yeah.
do you have materials that we can take with us?
We don't have anything printed yet, but they're on the way.
Are you allowed to send us that direction?
Yeah. I can send you the recording of it all, too.
I just need the recording. At least I have
Let's have a slideshow.
I'm going to post it on your site. That's smart. For your website, it's good.
So we thank you for all of your attention and all of your questions. And this is like some of our technicians' rates. It's $5 if we do it for you, $10 if you want to watch, and $25 if you want to help.
I like that. That's funny. That is pretty
But
good.
here we'll put the right system in your home the right way.
Mm-hmm. What are you guys seeing the most of out there right now in regards to newer systems and what people are needing in their homes? Is there something that's you're seeing a whole lot of, like these splits, mini splits? Or?
We are doing a lot of mini splits as we look to go, as the nation goes to get away from fossil fuels.
Yeah.
The Mitsubishis are very good. And the compressors in the Mitsubishis are in a lot of other pieces of equipment as well.
Oh, really?
So they're modulating compressors where they don't have to run at one speed or high speed all the time. They can ramp up or slow down according to the need.
Isn't that what the Duke Energy monitor that they added on my system does?
Is it a Duke Energy monitor?
They came out, they put it on there, they lowered my bill by $8 a month, and they regulate it.
From what I understand, that's a load control.
Yeah.
Basically, in the peak of the day, they can shut it off for an hour or two. They can divert power to us to a needed area. Where if the compressor, like a car, if I'm going down the highway, I can run it at 70 miles an hour. But if I'm running someplace in the city, the compressor will automatically throttle back to about 45, 30, depending on the need. Now, they tend to, they tend to run longer, but they're a DC compressor, so they are able to drop the amperage or drop the voltage to the compressor to make it run at different speeds.
And what's a split? He said, well, I don't know what a split.
A split system is an air handler, gas furnace with a coil, and an outdoor
Oh,
unit.
it's gas. Okay.
So that's the split that would be up on the wall in
Yeah.
your home?
A mini split.
That bottom piece would be outside.
Okay.
Shoot.
I had heat pumps.
But that could be considered a split system as well, meaning I have an outdoor unit, an indoor unit. A package unit is one that sits outside. It's all in one. A rooftop package you'll see on commercial applications a lot, and some places where there's no room for ductwork in the crawl space. So everything's right there in one box. So that's where we get the split or the package unit.
And so will you guys be selling the newer systems starting next year?
Yes.
If y'all start getting inventory?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. So you'll have a little bit of both. That'd be
Yes, sir.
a good thing for Ben and Chris to manage the inventory that you're
Right.
next year.
Opportunities.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Exactly right.
So
Armstrong, Mitsubishi, and what else?
Train.
Train.
And York.
And York. I forgot about
I
York.
thought Train and York were the same, made by the same company.
Train and American Standard, but there's also some other ones down there. I can't think of their names. And then you have York, Champion, and they have quite a few. Coleman is under that umbrella. And then you go to Lennox, where Armstrong is under that umbrella, and there's quite a few more. So it's just different areas. They focus different products.
So I found odd that you guys can't represent all of their products at the same time, sometimes, depending on the manufacturer.
I guess it comes down to the dealership or the distributors or the.
Yeah, was that it?
Yeah. So what do they offer us?
Gotcha.
Well, some of it is how much you want to train your techs too.
Right.
Sure, yeah.
Because the training
Too much. Yep.
be too much.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
And inventory and whatever else.
And as you, right.
That's awesome.
All right, go wax my truck.
It's a great day for it.
Got one more day, so I got to wax it before it gets cold.
Yeah.
New Year's is fairly new,
2 months.
right?
What, your system?
Yeah. Pages flipping in August. Yeah. Then we got.
What do you got? Till 2036 to finish with that?
That's right. I hope it runs till 2036.
I'm sure it will.
Yes. Just because that's the date doesn't mean.
Right.
So, and we'll be able to take care of it after that as well.
Well, we can even still get the R22 at a nifty little price when we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're going to slap a fee on that for dangerous chemical or something. Make R22 cost prohibitive. So where you go to the 410.
They already
The
have.
game is played.
The price for R22 is outrageous.
They're also going to tax the 410
Now that I don't know.
What did you get, an Armstrong?
train.
Train.
Yeah, so the furnace was okay, but the air conditioning probably needed to be replaced. So kept the furnace and to match it in the same break.
Well, I came across you guys because my neighbor bought a house that nobody had really maintained. And he had to have an entire new mechanical system put in to the tune of like $40,000-$50,000. So
Wow.
he said you were good guys, so you came over to my house and
Well, these guys did a good job at our house.
Yeah.
We had all the duct work in our house replaced in August because that's the coolest month of the year to be in.
To have the air turned off.
I'm sure Ron appreciated that. Right?
My wife was experiencing symptoms from mold exposure.
So do you have one of the new mold things they're talking about?
They did put that in your house.
We do have the not the sensor yet, but we have there's a light.
The UV light.
Yeah, I forget the name of it.
That's the Remy Halo.
Remy Halo. We have that in the ductwork, so it sort of, I'll call it, sterilizes the air and minimizes future mold
And
growth.
has she felt different?
She is getting better,
Huh?
so it's not overnight.
No, it's a long
but,
term.
You know, and good for us, and it was a lot of work. So you guys were at our house for 2 weeks.
That's a long time.
2-3 weeks.
That's how long they were at my neighbor's house. He had to have every mechanical aspect replaced. Good thing he got a good price on it. Didn't have any insulation.
Oh,
And all of that time. Okay, another place to. I'm starting my maintenance plan.
awesome.
So my house is 7 years old now. So I start a big process where every year I look to say, what am I spending $5,000 to $10,000 on to maintain the house so nothing gets too far out of that. So I just spend a lot of time with my electrician to go through and do some upgrades.
Okay.
That's good and smart, Richmond.
You guys have any other HVAC questions? Brian's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been doing it a few days.
Couple days?
Yeah.
So
We guys didn't talk about it, but you guys also do duct cleaning.
We do.
It was so severe that and the construction of the ductwork was that cleaning was not appropriate. It was not just mold, but it potentially could have been fiberglass exposure to my wife because
this is a fiberboard.
it was fiberboard. You may be decomposing and at or that side of it. And some of the flexos had exposed fiberglass. So, anyways, these guys came and looked at it and.
So is that rigid ductwork or flexible?
We use rigid as far as metal piping, and we also use flex.
We do not use ductboard.
Ductboard's like an insulation, but built sturdy like cardboard. And so they, back in the 80s and 90s, and even before, they would build duct trunks out of that and then come off the sides or build the plenums out of ductboard.
Residents were easy and inexpensive.
Yeah, you just cut it with a razor knife and fit
Fold
it
it
and
and-
tape it, and there it is.
It would decompose.
Well, as moisture gets in it, even the sidewalls, it would break down. If you had something scratches, something got into it, very easy for critters to get into it.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of that, and especially in a crawl space, it'll break down because of the moisture.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Well, that's. I think it's if you're going to replace your systems, you might as well replace your ductwork too.
it's something to look at.
It's been a long time. Might as well. I like that you did that laser, the air.
Remy Halo, it's a black light.
Is it okay? And then do you? Are they starting to put out the new sensor?
They are.
Now they're out today installing one.
Are they really? Okay. Yeah, because I was really curious about that. I heard their presentation on that, and I thought that's
pretty neat, isn't it?
to know when you're you have those high levels of mold. It's pretty unique.
I'm looking to get one in my house. So
Yep.
I live in an old house.
Well, your
so-
installation prices are pretty good, so you know.
It's a great for Yeah, that's good.
So I don't like working on my own system at home. I do it all day long. It's the last thing I want to do when I go home.
Oh, well.
That's true. Yeah. Only if you have to, right?
Right. That's true.
We have charging 25%, $25. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Buy that. Gotcha. Right. Yeah. I could help you. That's pretty good.
You should.
Yep, exactly right. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, I was curious about that because I heard Ben talk about it before. There was a big change coming, and I didn't
Right.
understand what it meant.
Well, we've been through this change before from the R22 to 410A. But the thing about this change is the refrigerants are going to respond very much the same. There's not going to be a whole lot of difference. Where R22 to 410A, the pressures were so much different. It was a real learning curve for the industry.
Okay.
So
Why are they changing?
The 454B has a lower global warming potential than the 410A.
So similar reason for the R2. Carbon emissions of it. It's not due to flammability.
No, they're both about equally flammable.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd be surprised how many questions and comments we got about the potential flammability. Just to let admit misconceptions out there. Yeah.
Is the automotive industry also changing at the same time?
they have already changed. They're going to the R32.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
If you,
So what is R32?
it's another refrigerant similar to 454B.
You find out on the newer cars when you go to the shop, and if you need your refrigerant recharged, it went from say $150 service to like a $400 or $500 service.
Car?
Newer car.
You never need the refrigerant charged on a car.
It happens.
Refrigerators the same way. And I'm not sure which refrigerant they went to. So there's a lot of different appliances.
I forget what's in my car. R22.
I don't know. I buy it at Walmart.
134A
Four,
or 134A in the car.
134A in a car, yes.
Is that going to go up in price?
We don't know. You know how it goes. Yeah.
Nothing ever goes down
No.
Well,
except for benefits.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it's time for me to stockpile a little bit of that stuff. So,
So when I worked at Honeywell, it was air conditioning is a closed system. You should never have to charge it. It means there's a leak somewhere.
That means there's a leak. It don't just evaporate.
So I've always been very cautious when you go into automotive places, and they were like, "Would you like your Freon and charge?" I'm like, "No, because you're going to blow the gaskets, and then I have to always come back to you and put Freon."
Right,
So if it works, leave it alone.
right.
yeah.
And you're right. It is a sealed system.
Yeah,
Same with the homes.
yeah. It's a
So-
closed system, so if something's wrong if you have to ask.
Yeah,
They say there is a slight leak rate, but it should be very minimum that you shouldn't have to do anything. So
Good. Well, so a home system is like sealed by material and stuff, but in automotive, you've got a shaft going rubber gaskets, and it can leak by that. So it's kind of sealed and it's kind of not sealed, and that's where it leaks past those gaskets. You can get a compressor in the car that's not so in a home unit. The compressor is like encased, like in an entire. It's like a big metal can.
right.
There's no gaskets or anything. The compressor, and all you got is wires going through into this can. Whereas in your car, you've got a belt and a shaft going through into the compressor. And so if that shaft, which is rotating, leaks, have some leak by. And why cars tend to leak a little more than humans. Okay.
Well, I just bought a new car, and it's mind-numbing learning the technology. Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.